Do you want to see game 2, Tolly?
I want to see game 2.
Do you want to see game 2? All right, let's go. Game 2. Picks and bans should be ready. LG this time round will be second pick once more. Enemy with the first option, and we saw in the pick and ban phase last time round, Tolly, Susano got through, and the focus were actually more onto Ratatoskr.
And it worked out. Mask was playing efficiently. Now the problem was Arlong Shen for Enemy early on did have that early first blood onto Mask, which was it was something that Mask wasn't prepared for at all. He used Purification after the fact where he was already dead, so that caught him off guard, and that's why Enemy picked Arlong Shen. But Mask, once the team fight started happening, that's when things started rolling for Luminosity.
That's very, very true indeed. Alquang Fafnir, Bacchus once more from Enemy, and he's back to Luminosity, who will once again go with the Nemesis ban.
Nothing too much to worry about if you're the side of Luminosity. Just stick to your guns. You won the first game pretty convincingly after the fact of, you know, your early plays, I would say. You know, like it went back and forth, but like you had a consistent game plan and you executed it the way you wanted to.
And I think the big key here is, Enemy, I feel like they're almost being forced into the Sol pick every game because they want to give Fearno something comfortable, and I think Sol is the most comfortable pick overall. His gameplay may be good, but it maybe changes up their pick and ban style as well, and I feel like that's kind of influencing things here.
That's a good point that you make, because like we mentioned before, for other teams, pick what you're comfortable, and if that's what you have to do for your Hunter position, this kind of hurts other lanes specifically. Maybe like your mid lane might want a specific guy, because now you have Ratatoskr and Raijin yet again for Xeno and Masked.
Well, we're going to give Chaos Agni back this time around. Anyway, want to pick that up because he did get banned out in the last phase by Luminosity, and BaRRaCCuDDa really wants his Bay back in the game.
He made the perfect rotation in that early stages, defending his own speed and blue, and then put on the aggressive side when they invaded the speed and blue. After, I think they found 3 or 4 kills that early game.
Well, we saw Erlang Shen, and we saw Erlang Shen come out from Shattered in the jungle here, and they just banned Susano LG. Do you expect them to run that, or would we maybe see an Arachne again or something like that?
Well, I only think Shattered plays Arachne to deal with Alquang.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen him play it any other time. But there's some other options. Thor, Fenrir, Naja.
The standard threesome, at least for that. LG, though, with the first option here after the first pick phase. Overall, they will get the counter pick as well. They're needing a solo laner here and a support. And Sobek has been left up again.
It's going to be the Sun Wukong for Scary D this time around. He's switching things up, wanting to have a better laning phase with the the poke with a 10-second cooldown between his Cudgel and his Master's Will.
Obviously, Amaterasu banned out, so he couldn't run that back again, but not choosing the Raven, which was also banned, so takes the most dominant laner he could really find there, other than maybe Osiris, which we don't see too much of.
It's a good hybrid mix on Wukong. It's on the aggressive side and defensive. You don't really have to commit too hard just to throw out a Cudgel.
Last 2 picks for Enemy left to come through here. They're mainly looking for the jungler and their solo laner. And now that Sun Wukong has been locked in, it just gives the game away about what solo laner they could put him against.
And I do expect Luminosity to still pick up the Sobek, trying to deal with the Guan Yu sustain after the fact, because it worked out before. But it's going to be a Ymir Guan Yu.
Now, here we go. We're not in Europe anymore, Toto. We're not in... It's totally, I should say, not Toto. I'm sorry, I called you a dog. Ymir solo, do you expect to see this in North America, or are we going to see Guan Yu solo?
It's going to be dependent on this matchup. It's going to be Sobek against the Sun Wukong. I would rather put a Ymir there. Now, Guan Yu could get stunned out with the Tiger.
Okay.
Depending on how you position yourself, right? You have to use the melee minutes to prevent the Tiger stun from coming out. But either way, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I'm looking more at the duel lane. It's going to be Sol against a Jing Sobek.
And what's the biggest issue with that?
You're gonna. I would rather put a Guan Yu to keep the Sol alive.
Gotcha.
Right. You want to try to be able to outclear them. Have Guan Yu group up the wave, find the Stellar Burst just to clear, and if Fearno gets poked out, you have the conviction.
Well, a little bit more control from the solo lane this time round. They had Raven last time, did Enemy, but Marauder is now going to run the Ymir in the solo lane. We don't see it too often in North America. The last person I believe has run it the most is probably you, Tolly, in North America. Out of everybody.
I mean, Omega's run it quite a lot.
True.
Not in Season 3, not the last split, but in the second split specifically.
He stole that from you.
I mean...
I'm giving you the credit there, okay? Just take it.
All right, we'll take it.
You're the original gangster, Ymir
Everyone
solo.
gets one.
So now we'll see if Marauder can follow in your footsteps, just like Omega did over in the solo lane. And he's going to start things off with Vanguard, which is kind of standard here, where he's going to be up against ScaryD, who's gone with the Bluestone. And
in the solo lane matchup, Wukong needs to be careful about the early level 2 poke from Marauder, but once he gets to about level 6 and 7, this is going to be a point in time when Marauder is going to start getting out-poked.
Yeah, very true indeed. Starting builds as well coming out from everybody. Nothing really to be surprised. Both shells for the duo lane supports. However, maybe you see the Meditate coming out from PainDeViande, but he's a little bit worried about the burst damage, I guess, from the XenoTronics.
You want to make sure that you have that shell for the 3v3 team fights. We saw just how much damage Mask and XenoTronics was able to do onto Khaos when he was playing the Isis. So this time around, not having any protections with circle protection or the sustain, this forces Pain into the shell option.
And I think that's the big key here, is that enemy feels that Khaos needed something different in the mid lane to get him aggressive. But look at that poke that XenoTronics just put out there. Hit level 2 first of all, and then Thunder crashing him immediately to apply more pressure. Also took a little bit of damage from the Flame Wave to make sure the minions aggro.
Here comes a rotation underneath in the back right. Harpies forcing out enemy to give it up completely, despite them being the ones to start it.
And once again, Fearno under pressure. BaRRa and Jeff doing a good work of poking out Sol on that left-hand side. The left-hand Harpies now being looked at by enemy, who should be able to pick these ones up, but they will give up a bit of position in mid lane here.
Luminosity going to clear out the mid lane first. They could look for some invades on the back right or back lefts if they choose to, rotating towards the back rights.
Hey, you called it. They're going to look for the back Harpy steal here, and what will enemy do to answer back? Will they look to contest these, or will they go and try and invade themselves?
They just really can't find the timing to do so. They could prevent the rotation back, though. The monkey bounces do connect, but you don't really want to teleport and focus it out, because if you use your abilities for the poke, you're not going to have it for the clear.
A little bit risky from Mass there, just walking in. Left XenoTronics alone, but in the end of the day, they'll both get away for the time being. However, the stun, the Flame Wave just ended on that stun at the worst possible time. Oh, he jumped to the monkey, did Shad. Looking for the cheeky play onto Mass with the in hand, but he doesn't find the RNG crit.
Khaos and Mass taking so much poke. Solo laners training it down on top of this. Marauder still sustaining pretty efficiently, only having 1 health pod remaining though.
And still pinned under the tower enemy, but they're doing a good job of farming on this left-hand side for the time being. Like you said, there's potions still available for both of them here, so they're not being poked out as heavily as it looks. It's just the pressure they've got so far in this lane.
And the solo lane, nice. A little attempt for the use of that wall, but the cudgel goes through walls.
OP. Still over on the left-hand side, Pain being poked out a little bit more here. No kills in this game, but look at the wraparound coming out from Shattered here to the right-hand side. Only level 4 here, and the monkey forced to ult away to live to fight another day.
Not having an escape from one monkey forces another monkey to go into the skies. That's the only way you can escape from your brother.
Monkey's OP, man.
OP.
Still, no level 5 for Shy just yet. He should hit it off this wave, though. And ScaryD's going to respect that, but look at the respects onto Ymir. Ymir is here. They don't actually have the fall all in. Fantastic Fearno Evil comes out from Shadow, but the drums are here, and First Blood has arrived. XenoTronics with a great rotation.
Not having the purification for Mask. It was a nice counter engage by Shadow's Fearno Evil. Unfortunately, off the mark was Marauder's freeze. If he wanted to, he could have just basically used his ultimate on top of the Fearno Evil, get off so much damage onto Mask, and forcing ScaryD away. So it could be a good offensive tool and a zoning.
That's true. It should have been a washed fight there more than anything else, totally. But XenoTronics with that rotation, you know, managing to realize to go over there, support his teammates, and find himself a first kill of the game that actually went over to ScaryD.
The one problem with Ymir is how immobile he is. You have to time your ultimate perfectly to prevent yourself from getting initially, you know, the chain crowd control effects. If you can prevent the knockup between Mask's ultimate, then there's no reason to follow up with that big Ymir ice ultimate.
So as Ymir this game, Tolly, what are you expecting his build order should be in terms of build? What are you expecting is like his first 2 or 3 items?
Just to survive against this mass rotations, he's going to want to continue to play aggressive after this first kill already, with teleport being down, not having boost 3. As soon as the ultimate from Mass is available, that's going to be the aggressive side. So maybe trying to get some health.
Yep.
Now, you're not going to have time to really stack with Warlock Sash, so probably should go straight into the Wingblade.
We'll see if he goes for the Wingblade here. Left RPs go the way of enemy. The right ones went to LG, and they get a bit of lane pressure once again. Fearno still being babysat by PainDeViande here, as BaRRaCCuDDa has been quite aggressive. And we actually saw how late it was that Pain started to make these rotations last game as well. And
we saw Jeff making those rotations in the solo lane to counter enemy's aggression on the speed buff invade. Even though they were successful at stealing the speed, they lost Khaos' life on the Isis because of the rotation from Jeff.
Now ScaryD trying to use his mobility on the Sun Wukong here to keep Marauder pinned in lane. He just proxy farmed a wave between the tier 2 and tier 1 tower, and And because of that, he can now cheekily look at the back Harpies here and steal those away as well.
Not only does this put him ahead of Marauder, but this hurts the overall team of enemy. They can't find the farm where they really need to. This hurts Shattered in the long run. If he can do this 2-3 more times, Shattered's going to be 2 to 3 levels behind Masked.
And for Foreman, it's in around almost a 2,000 experience lead. It's a very good start for LG this game. They seem to be running on confidence from the last game, especially because their composition is very similar to last game.
And their style is going to be similar. They're going to lean on this combination between Ratatoskr and Raijin, the knock-up setup. ScaryD forced the Ox form away. Marauder's just going to clear out the wave. Going to not be in range of the archers, though.
Just in time. He does get out and didn't have to use his ultimate there as well, but will head back to base. Has no teleport available, but with no minion waves coming in, he won't lose too much on that side, ScaryD. So all in all, a wash on that left-hand side. Left Harpies and right still down after last engagement. Both teams just kind of looking around at each other, waiting for the next minion wave to just hit the middle of the lane.
5.5 minutes in, Luminosity, almost 2,000 in the lead. Without the ultimate from Marauder, this could be an open window for Mask to make this rotation, but it could be an open invitation for enemy to sneak a gold, though.
BaRRaCCuDDa level 8, going to head back to base here as well. Working towards those Devour's gauntlets, which should be finished right about now after this trip back to base. And this is the benefit he's got, the amount of rotations he can go back very quickly, get those items online, and gold in your inventory is all well and good, but it's not really good until it's spent.
With the Jing Wei in his passive, like we're about to see him get back into laning phase. Devil Gloves finishing more stacks quickly. Not going to get zoned out too, which is an important thing in Hunter battles. It's like if you back in front of a Hunter's face, they're just going to last hit and prevent you from getting any experience.
However, right hand side, freeze lands onto ScaryD. Marauder starting to fall behind further here, as you did see ScaryD now hit level 10 after sealing away the second set of back Harpies as well. He's got good control in this jungle, and because of that, he does have rough timers of when these buffs are about to come up.
But now Luminosity, they're grouped up looking for the speed buff invade. Some cooldowns were used, but Luminosity don't want to really commit.
No, the wall from Marauder was very good there, just to deny any sort of a cheeky invade coming out from LG. Fire Elementals on the right hand side, there's 3 members of Luminosity there, 4 I should say, wanting to share those little imps. They're not even worth that much, Tolly.
I mean, it's still effective for your jungler with Bumba's Mask because you get the full effect, so that's what you're really looking for.
Of course. Everybody helps the jungler, make them feel better about themselves. There's 2 wards down on this right-hand side, and Fearno Weevil around the corner from Shattered. Gonna force out 2, and Master's now left alone.
He's gonna be wiped out. Perfect rotation from Marauder, making it. Normally, you don't see these kinds of rotations out of Ymir, especially against a Wukong that's 2 levels ahead. So overall, great pickup, but what do you get out of this enemy?
Well, they get the left-hand Harpies as well. Here's the right ones after that small little pick and answers back, but will they look for the fire? Go Fury, I should say. Not just yet, because Fearno's still going to farm up this left-hand side that, once again, BaRRaCCuDDa forced back into pace. So it was a good pick, Tully, but it's nothing more than Harpies.
And, like, this just prevents Luminosity from establishing a big enough lead, realistically, because you're waiting for the team fights. Marauder's going to be able to be such an impact. Look at that cudgel just lining up in the sky, mid-freeze.
You just knew exactly where it was going to go. At least you know where it's going to go that time around then.
Yeah, extended cudgel going to the sky. But either way, yeah, we were talking about the team fights out of enemy. They're waiting for Khaos to start getting some damage, Marauder to start getting some cooldowns online with Breastplate of Valor, and that's going to be the turning point once enemy really wants to start forcing the issue.
Well, Fearno taunt in there. I don't think he recognized JeffHindla until just now, but he does disapparate away immediately after that, so a bit more respect coming out of him up against BaRRaCCuDDa and Jeff in lane. But what he said, though, getting Khaos online is very important, and him getting a kill this game early on, total different tale of the tape to how the ISIS game went for him last time round.
It's all about power spikes for mages. We saw it last time around where XenoTronics was constantly ahead of Khaos, and this time it's the opposite end where Khaos, he's going to hit the level 3 ulti power spike before Xeno.
Well, right inside you can see ScaryD in the jungle once more, but nothing available for him to steal this time round. Khaos is working towards Bancroft's talent here, or the Pythagorean's piece in terms of his build. We'll see which end he ends up going to. Obviously, old school players will all know Bancroft's his best crafts on the side of Agni.
Yeah, but having a Ymir in the soul lane wouldn't be a bad idea to try to go Pythagorean's piece, unless the Ymir is going to be zoning and you're going to be self-peeling for yourself. So in that case, I would really like Bancroft's, because if you get low enough, you're forced to dash away. It makes it less tempting for Mass to initiate.
In the skies, the little rat, and the rat is coming down onto Shattered. Fearno Evil already used as well, but the stun from Khaos is good, and the dot damage will bring down Mass. PainDeViande, credit for the kill with the cavalry charge. Looking towards Jeff a little bit with the bombs, and Marauder coming around, going to slow down Jeff for a second, but he's not so good with those frost breaths. Is Marauder, and now ScaryD's here, as is BaRRaCCuDDa. Marauder forced to ult here to try and slow down the offense of Luminosity in response.
Fearno coming back from the underneath side, not really making an impact in the team fight, but making sure Luminosity don't dive in the tier 1. So trading Mask, nobody able to answer on the side of Luminosity.
Yeah, you see everybody get away there. Marauder's got to land those freezes, though. We've seen that too many times already.
The problem was he was too far away, and he didn't have the mobility to really catch up. He went for Shoes of the Focus into Breastplate of Valor. Had he gone into Wingblade, he might have been able to find the freeze.
Potentially over on that side. And once again, BaRRaCCuDDa going to go back to base, working towards Igfal as well now. With that little skirmish in the mid lane, it was just that one person who died.
And with that enemy, they don't really take advantage. There's not much to take.
Yeah.
Speed buff, not really there for them to take, so they're just going to be passively farming, still waiting to get to that power spike. Having Agni get to level 12, 13, get some second relics, and maybe they'll force a team fight off of those relics.
Well, Pain's at about 1,500 gold right about now, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. So once he gets to that line, it looks like he's going for the Hide of the Urchin early on this time round. Could be a Spirit Robe, though. It's still early days to really call that one.
I think it's going to be Hide of the Urchin. He wants to force out these team fights, start building up the defenses. Shatter was, I think, looking for a jump over the wall, but Khaos not able to find the bomb stun, and now Shatter still looking for something. A lot of relics off the table for Luminosity.
Shatter not really sure what he wants to do at the moment. Level 10 at the moment, falling a little bit behind in terms of experience against Masked here, with all these hanging around in the jungle.
Yeah, just waiting for somebody to overstep and force some relics off, and enemy gonna back off with a red buff respawning. Doing a good job is ScaryD, still finding the proxy farm, and then as a result, this forces Marauder into a weird spot where he has to defend his blue or go for this wave.
There's a 2-level lead as well. What do you want, Marauder? Do you want to defend your tower or your blue buff? Well, you need a rotation, but guess what? You're not going to get one. It's going to be Luminosity. Mass turns up at the perfect time. However, the commitment over on this right side has seen enemy look towards the Gold Fury, but instead it was actually looking to defend Fearno.
Fearno forced to use the Supernova, was caught in a really awkward spot. Shattered, not committing with the Fearno Evil. Could have forced out the Purification, the teleport coming, but with a change to teleport, takes a little bit longer time, which allows Shatter to get the kill.
ScaryD might be a little bit salty about that. So your opponent is shattered with his back harp. He's been stripped away from him once again. This is one of the reasons you see that Shattered is behind a little bit as well, is because ScaryD is stripping away experience that Masked is getting in his own jungle.
And this is why Wukong is such a nice pick in the solo lane, because it's so easy to proxy farm and make the rotations with Eagle form.
But you don't really pick Ymir for the laning phase overall, do you? You pick him for the team fights more than anything else.
More than anything else. You don't really want to proxy farm as a Ymir because you cannot get away in between the tier 1 and tier 2.
You ever tried proxy farming on Ymir?
Maybe.
Well, you were like 5 levels ahead or something like that. Were you like 7, 0, and 4 or something? Like,
or maybe I was 5 levels behind and I was 0, 12, and 3.
Why would you do that?
YOLO.
YOLO. If in doubt, YOLO.
No, but honestly though, whenever you're behind, if you can force rotations in the solo lane that, you know, might open up the door for Gold Fury, and that could be something that we see from enemy in general, because we saw the rotation from Mass onto that blue buff. They were positioning themselves around Gold Fury, but Fearno was caught out a little bit off guard, having to use that big important ultimate. Doesn't allow enemy to sneak it.
Well, speed buff going to respawn here. Enemy going to get this for themselves. It's just under 2,000 gold lead still for LG at 12 minutes in now, because of the start, but the Fearno Evil coming out from Shattered to make sure ScaryD could not steal that.
That's very important cooldown for enemy being down. Now Luminosity, they're starting the gold. They don't have to worry about it because they know where Pain was. They know where Shattered is.
Well, they also know that Khaos is on his way with Fearno as well, so they're going to drop it, pluck off the mark from JeffHindla. So Shattered got a somersault over the wall. Marauder, though, surrounded a little bit and slowed down by ScaryD, but Mass is going for Khaos and forcing him out instead.
And this could be a dive.
Used.
This could be a dive. ScaryD was potentially thinking about diving that tier 2 tower instead, being very patient, forced out a lot of relics there. Purification onto Khaos. Now Luminosity, they're grouping it back up. JeffHindla, he really needs to find a plug here.
Watch out for XenoTronics and the ultimate, because if he uses taunt, it could cause some issues, and there he is using it right now through the wall on both members. PainDeViande, though, looking for JeffHindla, changes his mind, goes back to his team, helping out Marauder, who's getting slowly low, as is ScaryD. ScaryD just have no escape here, but Fearno trying to poke them down with the Stellar Burst. So wall from Marauder actually stops him getting more damage off, but it does help for a potential pick on Masked.
Fearno didn't have Supernova for that team fight at the clean it up at the end, and now that's going to force Luminosity out. No kills for enemy, and because they're poked out in return, not having much mana, they're not feeling confident enough to go for this Gold Fury. So overall, just a wash for both teams.
A crazy fight that nobody dies in, but the damage numbers do go a little bit higher there. Khaos got a lot off in that fight, as did BaRRaCCuDDa, who's now approaching 5k already for the Hunter.
14 minutes in the game. Luminosity still a slight lead, but it's only about 1700 or so. So just going to be waiting for the right opportunity. The Gold Fury not being warded by either team.
I think what I want to see really is once the Gold Fury is secured and just looked after for a minute, I want to see Mass go to solo and just chip away at this tower with the help of ScaryD against the Ymir. Ymir can't really stop them from both taking this down, so why not do that? But at the moment, enemy trying to force the issue with the Gold Fury. JeffHindla does not notice this and is going back to base. The Fearno Evil dropped very quickly from Shattered to zone them out, and enemy show their experience at Gold Furies once more and get a sneaky, cheeky takeaway.
Well, Pain picked up Wrath for his second relic, which gave him that opportunity to go for it. They saw JeffHindla was still level 11. The steal potential from Luminosity at this phase is not too high.
Well, ScaryD a bit out of position here, but still has his ultimate, not too worried about PainDeViande, so he'll just Ox form away. Tier 1 tower still stands on the right-hand side, but Luminosity want to answer back to that cheeky Gold Fury with a tower in mid lane.
They saw the Fearno Evil at the Gold Fury, so they don't have to worry about that big important cooldown, putting the pressure on.
Mass is in a lot of trouble there, forced to take to the sky, but he's still dotted up his Master at the moment, and he falls from the sky like a dead little rat.
And that's going to allow enemy to keep going aggressive now. Enemy, PainDeViande, he doesn't have his ultimate, but he has to sustain to keep moving forward. The rotations from the soul laners are starting to come online.
And Ymir is here. He does have wall, and Blink is the big one. Going to force purification on XenoTronics, isolate the rest of the team of the wall from an escape route, and allow his team to take a tier 1 tower in response.
And this is not it. Enemy's not done with tier 1. They're not
more?
content with that. They want a tier 2. Shattered's ultimate's about to come online. They're relying on Khaos' bomb stun to find the kill onto Xeno.
Xeno goes down as BaRRaCCuDDa now in a world of hurt, surrounded by all 5 members, but they're not really focused on him. They want the tier 2. Khaos forces Sanctuary very well timed to avoid the Tiger Stun coming out from ScaryD. ScaryD to the sky he goes though, and still looking for Khaos. Jeff off the mark with the pluck there, and a very good stun from Khaos will get him away from danger, but Scary still wants it.
He's not done yet, but the Fearno Evil should keep Khaos alive a little bit longer. Fearno caught in a 1v3, but not in position as Jeff for the pluck. Overall, getting 2 towers after just losing their own tier 1.
I mean, Jeff not finding the plucks is the first talking point of this game I can see, because we've said it, game 1 he was finding them every single time, but this time enemy just seemed to be able to sidestep it ever so slightly quicker, and Jeff's not found them, which has allowed a lot of these enemy members to keep surviving.
Sometimes you're better off just finding the tail, just walking into the enemy team, finding the tail flip, and then finding the guaranteed pluck immediately after. Instead, Jeff was trying to get a little bit fancy and look for the long distance pluck, and got punished for it a little bit.
We'll talk about fancy. I mean, the Luminosity player, the tier 1 tower in mid lane, we saw Mast fall down in that engagement because Khaos ended up killing them. Got us double stun off, and the Path of Flames at the end was what actually killed him in the sky, because that dog damage persists.
It's a level 16 Agni with Bancroft's Talon finish. This is the power spike we were talking about between mid laners in general. XenoTronics this time around 3 levels behind Khaos. Enemy, they're not done yet. They're going to start warding around Fire Giant. Yep. With Gold Fury still down for about 2.5 minutes, they could look for pressure. They're going to start the fire?
This is a heavy commitment to the Fire Giant early. ScaryD's going to spot this out for sure. No, he's not, you know, he's doing the blue buff. I don't think ScaryD's noticed. Nobody on the side of LG know this is going on right now.
This is the second Fire Giant this week that got snuck pre-20 minute mark. Oh my god.
And that's with a Wrath as well. That was the big one there. Now Marauder's going to go, hey Scary, how you doing? There's a wall. And we're just going to walk towards the right-hand side here now and look for a tier 1 tower. Luminosity have just found out they gave away a free Fire Giant.
In response, BaRRaCCuDDa going to have to split push on the left, rely on your late game Hunter, level 17 with the red buff, forcing out the ultimate from ScaryD. Nice play.
And Marauder's not going to be worried about tanking up the front line. He's tanky enough. Ethereal Staff and as well the Breastplate of Valor. And you can actually see Marauder going to teleport away from this though, because the split push opportunity from LG is coming out here. They take tier 1 in mid, tier 1 in left, and you saw Mass now taking the red buff away as well.
Tier 2 tower falls. The Fearno Evil should get a kill onto JeffHindla, but the ultimate from XenoTronics trying to find a response, forcing out the purification from Fearno though.
No, he didn't get the purification. Disapparate just kicked in at the right time there, luckily enough for him. That's the benefit of that Disapparate. Saves it just in time. I thought it was a weird purification as well.
I thought it like for a second that it was going to be purified away. He was going to get taunted by the ultimate from XenoTronics, and that could have allowed Luminosity to find a return kill.
Let's go to the graphs here, because Gold Fury is about to spawn soon, and you can see, even though, you know, enemy snuck that Fire Giant, that's not a big experience lead. The gold, different story, granted, but the experience is pretty much even.
And that's going to be dependent on how enemy continue on to this aggression, because like we say, like right now it's nothing, but they're not done with their siege quite yet. They still have Fire Giant buff for about 2.5 minutes. So that gives them enough time to group up in the left-hand side.
That's a good point. And then there are only 2 towers left remaining as well for the side of LG, so they're going to have to look at holding them, especially with the Gold Fury being there. That's all enemy's attention should be, is the left-hand side of the map.
Especially with Gold Fury respawning in 20 seconds, this gives enemy a huge window. As long as they're able to defend any sort of split push, we saw that Mass doesn't hesitate to go for these split pushes. Neither does BaRRaCCuDDa.
Well, a much better match for Khaos this time round. I can imagine Twitch chat last game, just all ribbing on Khaos for being so far behind and having such a bad game. Well, he shows he's still a fantastic mid laner once more with Agni this time round, 3-0 and 2, top of the player damage at 19 minutes in. I made a really big impact so far.
It's a lot easier to escape the ultimate from a Ratatoskr when you have an Agni dash, right? Especially the follow-up damage from XenoTronics on the Raijin.
Well, grouping up they are. Pluck off the mark from Jeff again, and Jeff is getting all in one more time by the Fearno Evil. And now Mass is coming in though to answer back. They're looking towards Fearno, but Fearno's going to get away with a disapparate for now. Drums and war from XenoTronics hits a little bit, but it only really tickles. To the back goes Scary. Still looking for Fearno, who does a good job with the Supernova, slowing him down. Knocked up into the air he is, but Fearno still stands for now. Finally he goes down, but reinforcements are here.
So much damage though. Mass gonna probably fall back to Shattered. So far it's been a 2 for 2 now.
Yeah.
Enemy, they haven't been successful on the left-hand side.
And what really happened there was like Fearno, they all focused on defending Fearno and just had Marauder get picked off overall because of that.
Well, the problem is they committed Fearno Evil only on a level 13 Sobek. That's not really the best timing to do it. Now, granted, finding that early pick, probably thought that, okay, we'll kill Sobek, no problem, and we'll win the rest of the team fight. We'll get this tier 1 tower and get gold immediately after. But Luminosity, they grouped up really efficiently and were able to get Fearno's relics early in that team fight.
A lot of elements consumed there. Only really Agni is available. Well, that's always pretty much available with those 3 bombs. But Scary teleports to the backside here, trying to slow them down and keep them busy. And actually look towards Khaos, who Khaos gets a solo kill against 3. You serious?
He's level 17. He does a lot of damage, but now getting chased and plucked back in by JeffHindla. Nowhere for him to go.
How is Khaos still alive in this fight? Bancroft's talent to the rescue, and the gas is down too. Finally, Scary D picks him up, but Jeff is very low there.
And that's going to allow him to run away. Scary D going to get chased by Pain for a little bit longer. We see Shatter jumping over the wall, the ultimate from Pain, but the ultimate from Scary D getting him out of trouble.
Good job from LG disengaging this fight overall. His Khaos for XenoTronics was the pick, and Khaos went down after getting the kill, basically 4v1 there.
Impressive play by Luminosity, able to hold their tier 1 on the left though, but even better by enemy, still finding the kills that they need to. They found XenoTronics, they traded Khaos, which is not something you want to do, trading level 17 mage for a 14, but they found the golden response.
Yeah, the Gold Fury very important there. You can see the graph jump up 4.8k in favor of enemy. It's still not enough to win this game though, Totally, I don't feel. The way this has been going with the battles between these 2 teams, it's not enough.
Not at all, but enemy, they have the advantage with these objectives with the Wrath onto PainDeViande, but it hurts their team fight style. Luminosity, they could keep playing aggressive with the style that they have. As long as Jeff connects on the plugs like we saw, that's what they really need to do.
Well, the next Fire Giant coming up is going to be very important for these 2 teams. It's down to 20 seconds left, and with enemy sneaking it last time, Luminosity don't exactly have a timer on this, Totally. I mean, they don't have a rough idea of when it's going to spawn, but they don't have the exact time like enemy do.
And holding onto their sentries, spotting out where enemy are placing them. Great job by Luminosity. And then they're going to back for even more sentries because they don't know the exact timing like you mentioned, but they know the general time frame.
And guess who they use? BaRRaCCuDDa, because of that great mobility at getting back over and over again. BaRRa can just keep bringing sentries for days back from base.
As long as he has enough gold in hand to do so, he will. And enemy, they're going to force the issue. They're not ahead this much to force it with
who's on
Luminosity
peel?
right
Nobody's
there.
on peel right now. Marauder going to get a good wall off. Mass to the sky, and immediately enemy disengaged. The dunk on 3 from Mass going to force out Fearno Evil. That hits absolutely no one. General Pain, though, takes to the horse to try and help out. Marauder zones him out for a little bit, but good grouping from LG so far. It means that Pain's been isolated, and Pain gets hit through for his XenoTronics ultimate for free.
But a lot of cooldowns were used just to confirm the kill onto Pain, so Luminosity, they're going to try to go for Fire Giant.
Well, you say this, but look at enemy. They've only got Supernova up right now, and now Marauder getting plucked into an awkward position there, but a good bomb from Khaos is going to bring down JeffHindla. Fearno credit for the kill, but Marauder goes down in trade now.
The Supernova did so much damage. Finding XenoTronics found Marauder, though, in response after JeffHindla falls. The ultimate from BaRRaCCuDDa trying to chase somebody down, but not going to find it. Shattered escaping on the tier 2, and now this is the play that Luminosity really needed before they started the fire.
And Supernova is not available for Fearno, but Fearno is on his way back. We've seen so many steals the past 2 weeks. Can the super substitute for enemy do it himself? Well, no. The Thunder Crash is going to go off from Xeno, and they're going to force him out one more time. Fearno forced to disappear away, but he's still bought time for Shatter to come back.
He found the kill. The Fire Giant is so low.
Did he get
overhead smash finds Mass. The Fire Giant, it still goes in the favor of Luminosity, and BaRRaCCuDDa is trying to find the 1v1, recognizing that the rest of the team is coming.
Fearno moves up, and he's going to drop it straight on his face. The crit comes through, 2 BaRRaCCuDDa falls, and 3 members. A triple kill for Shattered, and a lot of that goes down to Fearno.
Fearno buying enough time. XenoTronics thunder crashing offensively, trying to prevent Fearno from coming in for the steal, but then in came Shattered, finding 3 important 2 kills at the fire. Almost stole the fire, mind you.
And honestly, the Fire Giant goes down for Luminosity, but only ScaryD's got it. Everybody else on the side of LG dies. Now Enemy group it up as a 5-man unit towards mid lane. Marauder a little bit further behind. That's why he's teleporting now. They're looking to try and get this before the respawns happen.
And the respawn's about to happen. Xeno comes back online with his ultimate, but it doesn't matter. The mid Phoenix falls, and now it has to be enemy disengaged, and they cannot go for more objectives. They have to respect these respawns.
You've got to respect Ratatoskr, who can close down the map really quickly, and Jing as well, who can do the same thing. Nice turnaround from Enemy here. Bit of a mistake from Luminosity committing so heavily onto Fearno, but at the same time, somebody had to peel.
That's true. Somebody definitely did have to peel, but they could not peel both targets at the same time. I think also the blink was used from Shattered to get to Fire Giant a little bit closer that time around. So Enemy now with a pretty convincing lead off of that mid Phoenix being downed.
Well, they expect to try and tease this tier 1. You can see ScaryD and massive mid lane trying to rotate over now. And it looks like Luminosity want to try and hold here, but they're staying very far back because look at Shattered in the jungle. He has Fearno Evil, but he's very low on mana here. He's going enough for about a Fearno Evil, an overhand smash, and he's out of the fight. Jeff at the back though, zoning him away as Mask comes down with the ult. XenoTronics taunting in a big man at the back, which was Marauder, who's already fallen. Shattered though trades out JeffHindla, but a good ult from ScaryD will be able to push the boys of Enemy back. Pain trying to heal them up, but the airstrike coming out from BaRRaCCuDDa will defeat one.
Khaos nowhere to go. That's going to be a 2 for 4. 4 members dead from Enemy. It's going to be a deicide yet again. Both of these teams just trading back and forth, and now Luminosity, they're going to have the XenoTronics back to defend the mid lane and then have the rest of the team just split push.
Well, ScaryD is going to stay left-hand side, yep, so just looking for the tier 2 here. Obviously, LG needs to look after that Phoenix in mid lane and the Fire Minions coming out, so I don't think this is game ending just yet, totally at all.
Not at all, but this tier 2 tower is definitely going to be gone on one side or another. We see BaRRaCCuDDa and XenoTronics coming down mid. ScaryD is going to push out left. Marauder,
both.
Marauder doesn't really have teleport to defend
I was going to say, no teleport on Marauder, and Marauder is a very slow-moving target in Ymir. He's got to pick one option to defend, but I think they could get both of these, LG, just to give him a bit of a gold advantage, I want to say, but even this up again.
Yeah, going to be able to tie the game relatively quickly after these 2 towers, and this kind of negates the small advantage off of that mid Phoenix.
We said it didn't seem like it was going to be enough overall, but that Phoenix going down and we're back to an even gold game experience. Well, it technically still matters because everybody's not level 20, but overall, the way the fights are going, nobody cares who's what level now.
Not really at this point. You have to be careful about both mid mages, right? Because Khaos had a 3 to 4 level lead this whole game, and now XenoTronics able to tie it off of that impressive deicide. And Luminosity, they're trying to get back in this one.
Well, let's look at player damage done by this game because it's been a crazy one back and forth between the two. Jing is top for BaRRaCCuDDa. Fearno, though, right behind him. And Shattered. Good performance for him this game as well. 6, 1, and 7. I believe that was his first death of the... Well, clearly it was his first death of the game after that deicide.
Yeah, just overall a solid performance. He's able to get in and out of the action. Enemy, they're going to do the Gold Fury at this point. Going to get them more in that 6th item slot form. Fire Giant respawning in about a minute 15. And knowing Enemy, they're going to try to go for it.
I think so too. I mean, it's only a minute for it to come back up, but they're waiting around at the moment. They've got a few relics on cooldown, and that's why you'll see people sit back a bit further. Purification needed on multiple members of the teams, mainly mid laners and junglers for both teams right now, but a sneaky pick in the jungle would be lovely, and that's what Enemy are kind of looking for here.
I don't think there's any wards from Luminosity to spot it out. They did see, actually, they did spot the fat Ymir on the left-hand side, though.
Surprised they actually did that, you know, with the red buff as well. Like, they saw red buff spawn, and they took it instead of waiting that little bit extra second for Luminosity to come around that corner. They could have potentially found a pick there.
They could have potentially, but electing to... They thought that maybe they were around the right side jungle.
Shattered went in to fit onto BaRRaCCuDDa and got it turned around on potentially. BaRRaCCuDDa forced to purify away, so it was ult for purification used just before the Fire Giant spawns.
And that's going to be well, also Blink was used from Shattered, so that was a Blink Fearno Evil just on that one single target. BaRRaCCuDDa was forced to use purification, still has the Sanctuary, but that's going to be another target for Shattered.
Well, there's also an opportunity here for LG to even things up in terms of Phoenix's standing, as it does respawn for LG just about now. They've got one more Fire Minion wave coming down mid lane, so they've got to clear that out at the same time as now defend the Fire Giant. that just spawned.
PainDeViande making the rotation towards Fire. All of Luminosity, though, recognizing this. After this mid-wave gets pushed out, immediately positioning themselves for this fight.
This fire gen just helps them to bring down towers so much easier and regenerate as well a lot more during these team fights to allow them to sustain more. When you've got a Guan on your team, it just gives you even more for it. Marauder, I'm looking at you, son. He's got Blink online. He is the Ymir engaged, and those walls are going to be very important here. We saw them out of Polar Bear Mike earlier today. Can he make it work for enemy?
And that's why BaRRaCCuDDa is playing so far back, not wanting to get blinked on. Shattered, playing on the left-hand side, looking for the potential jump after the primary initiation from Marauder. Pain, he wants to stay in the back to look for these heals, but he could look for the initial cavalry charge and then come back for the heals.
And we say that, I mean, Shattered is the one that's been engaging very, very often. The Fearno Evil is available again, as is the Blink is still down, however, but they're going to pull the Fire Giant enemy, trying to bake them in a little bit more, the boys of LG. ScaryD going to get focused. JeffHindla doesn't manage to find the book, gets frozen in place. Damage onto the front line, but there's Mast to the back, going to try and force out Fearno and Khaos too. Mast Sanctuary straight afterwards to absorb a lot of that damage, and now Jeff and XenoTronics and BaRRaCCuDDa are starting to rout the boys of enemy.
That was a great taunt from XenoTronics and his ultimate. That's going to find 2 kills onto enemy. Fearno has nowhere to go from the double monkey. ScaryD not even caring about the Fire Giant. Luminosity, they're looking down the mid lane.
They want the Phoenix at least. Mast closing the gap onto Khaos too. Agni bombs in place to slow them down, but knock up is good. And now Shattered into the back line, trying to find a potential pick on Mast, but getting run away. They're looking for the Phoenix more than anything else. It's wise from LG.
They're trying so hard. They're going to go for another win. BaRRaCCuDDa leading the charge. And ScaryD finding the kill onto Shattered, though. So he's going to be able to come back and maybe defend this.
Can he get back in time? Has he got Fearno Evil? Overhand smash used. He gets one. The Titan is at less than 500 health, however. He does kill BaRRaCCuDDa, but he can't save the game. Luminosity 2-0 enemy.
That was such a clutch play from Luminosity at the end. They're very calculating. I like the plan from ScaryD, though, just to make sure that Shattered wasn't going to be able to defend it as long as possible, but he had to commit for that tier 2 tower just to prevent the back.
And with that, look at the standings. LG moved themselves up after being Envy and Enemy this week to be equal with Denial. Out of all those games today, Tolly, I did not expect to say it would be Denial, Saw, and Luminosity in the top 3.
Just a different style. Like, since the beginning of the SPL, we've seen teams switch things up with their picks and bans and with their aggressive play style. And as a result, we're seeing Luminosity starting to pick up some wins. We're starting to see Soar as well.
What a great game, guys. That was crazy between the two. I hope you've all enjoyed today, though, because it's been fantastic. But all these guys, as we always say, are playing for the World Championships, or at least the ability to go there. But you can come too if you want to head over to hi-rez.expo.com. We do have tickets on sale there for you. Me and Tolly will be there. We'll be casting as many games as we can.
You'll see Adonis. You'll see Aggro. You'll see...
Oh, we see Aggro.
You'll see cool. F-Dot. You'll see Peckies. Maybe.
Peckies is the most important one. The most important one. But Peckies is generally in the back, where he should be. Anyway, that's it from us today. I hope you've really enjoyed this week's action. Don't forget, tomorrow we do have the Smite Console League kicking off once again. Those Console League teams playing for their opportunity to go to the World Championships as well. But for now, that's it from everybody at hi-rez Studios. Enjoy the rest of your week.